I've
Yeah.
survived because I'm adaptable. I'm like the cockroach. I'll be here forever.
This show's awesome. AI Cockroach Show. That's what it's called.
Okay. It's fine.
You
We don't
know,
have a name, so let's go with that. That is the name, by the way, AI cockroach.
Am I the only one that didn't know cockroaches could be epic? Buckle up because this AI cockroach is about to take you on a wild ride through time. Imagine stepping out of a prehistoric mud puddle and walking through the ages. The AI cockroach has done just that, from lush jungles to ancient caves, from straw huts to log cabins, and from bustling city streets to the futuristic space age. This little survivor has seen it all. With a blend of humor and resilience, the AI cockroach teaches us that adaptability is key. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving no matter what life throws at you. So whether you're facing the challenges of today or the unknowns of tomorrow, channel your inner AI cockroach. Embrace change, stay strong, and keep moving forward. Survive the future, one tiny step at a time.
I can't tell you how pumped up I am about this show, Joe, because it is moving so quickly. This whole AI thing, artificial intelligence, if you haven't, for some strange reason, heard what AI stood for, and it is absolutely fascinating. And it's even more fascinating when you apply AI to media and entertainment production. Joe, what say you?
Is that why we don't have a name for the show? Because it's
Yeah,
moving so fast?
let me tell you, it's not worth naming because out the door. Next, we can call it AI this, and tomorrow it'll be AI something else. So maybe
Yep.
it's the AI Who Knows show, but it's really about diving into um, artificial intelligence and its use and its role in the rise of media and entertainment production. And when I tell you guys in the audience and ladies, there's no better person to talk to about this than this man right here. And I'm telling you because as the show unfolds and as you go to ferrocity.com and look at his background and his resume, and I know he's hating this right now, but I'm going to do it anyway. Um, Joe has seen and has literally had his hands on the pulse of many changes in technology, in the physical technology, as well as the mental technology of what it takes to apply that and how to assuage the fears of, oh my God, the CD is out. You know, that's the end of records. Now vinyl's back all these years later. So I'm going to ask him just to go back really quick and start the show with, I know you started back synthesizers, GPS, as in global positioning satellites. Give us just a quick run through of the technology part and how you saw changes come through time.
When you started, you mentioned how fast this thing's moving. I have to say, they have AI as an entity probably has the best publicist in the world because everybody this got more traction than COVID-19. It moved so fast and everybody knew about it in a heartbeat. But it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
As you said, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. And I am not a superstar AI person, but I do know technology, and I've been around enough technology changes in my vertical inside the entertainment production industry, and I've seen things come that the sky's falling and everybody's going to lose their mind, and we don't know what to do. It's going to put everybody out of work and blah, 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 blah. And none of it happened. Yes, some people lost their job and some new people got new jobs.
Right.
And that's just evolution. I'm sure, the poor ox that was pulling the plow got pissed when they invented a gas engine that dragged the plow around.
Yeah.
Then the ox was out of work. And what was he going to do? And that was the same thing. They just had a shit union.
Yeah.
The way it works now is it's the same thing. AI is amazing. AI is a tool.
Yeah.
It's another tool.
You know what?
And you said,
I got to stop you here because
go.
I just want to I want you to talk about that a little bit more because everybody thinks AI is a takeover and it's not. It's a tool, as you said. And that's kind of the crux of what this whole show is about, is how to use that tool in the creative arts, in the creative industry, in production, because without somebody or an ox or something else using that tool, it just doesn't take over, at
Right.
least not yet.
Right. I don't know. If you go back to iRobot and Lost in Space, the television
Yeah.
show, yeah, the robots were going to take over at some point. I don't know. Maybe we're an organic, already a robots. I have no idea. I don't want to go down the ancient alien path. But it nothing's going to happen to anybody who's listening to this or their kids. Humans still are going to have a place.
Yeah.
For at least the next several generations.
Yeah.
So when I say tool, I think of things, and when you approached me about doing this, I started thinking about what have I seen, and I go back to word processors. Word processors came out, and everybody just thought, that's the end of it. Typing pools are going to be gone. Nobody's going to be doing this anymore. And word processors found a place. And they got better and better to the point that none of us have secretaries that type out our work anymore.
Yeah.
Emails are done by executives. And that's it. We've evolved to that. So whoever those secretaries were found another job, found some other place to go, or they adapt it to the technology. And that's the critical key. So I have one motto that I live by with anybody who approaches me about AI. AI is a really smart, highly intelligent assistant. It's your assistant. Things that you don't want to grind out. You want to go do research. You want to dig through data. You want to compile, Lucas films, Lucas Sound, actually. They have how many millions of sound effects?
Right.
So if you want to use a sound effect, you want to sit there and click through them? No, you tell AI, go find me this, and it'll find it. Okay, now that you found it, tweak it to do this, because now I need it to be a little different than that. That's a great assistant.
Yeah.
That's really what in the end it is. Maybe it puts assistants out of work. I don't know, but that's where we're at. Go ahead. I know you're getting ready to want to say something.
Yeah, because you see it, I'm jumping at the bit.
Yeah, I saw it.
So what you're really talking about are, and again, let me put my disclaimer out. I am no AI wizard. I've just learned academically through reading stuff, doing stuff, and applying it. What Joe, you just spoke about was an assistant needs good instruction. And back to the old computer days of garbage in, garbage out, it's the same thing. If you don't know how to craft the language or properly instruct an assistant to do something, they're going to be lost and probably not give you what you're actually looking for. So what I've learned about this whole AI thing, and we're not going to dive into it deep now, but just let's use the word prompt. So the prompt is what you're instructing the AI to do. So there's video, there's text to video. So AI says, hey, you know what? I can make a video for you. Type in what kind of video you want. So you type in video about a dog. Okay, that's really broad. So how creative is that going to get? Not too much at all. So I think one of the things that's key to remember is using AI as a tool, you have to have the right prompt. And to have the right prompt, you have to have the right context for what you're doing. And communicating something from the right context to get what you want is storytelling. True?
True. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And that's what I go back to when you're working with a creative team. You're in a writer's room. You walk into a writer's room. You're the head writer. You sit down. Humans, actual humans. You're sitting in a writer's room with humans, and you have to come up with a storyline. You, head writer, have to have concept, and you have to have details. And then you start throwing ideas around. Okay, you're doing the same thing with AI. So take one of the lesser writers out of that room and put an AI into it. An AI will throw out ideas, and you could massage the ideas. And as you said, then you alter the prompts. Nah, I don't like what that is. It's the same thing when you're sitting in the writer's room. No, shut up. I don't know what you're talking about. That's ridiculous. You're not even on close. And then it's like, oh, I like that idea. Let's go with that. Okay, let's pick that up. Now what happens after that? So the dog gets out of the house. Now what happens?
Right. Right.
And the creatives have to still have a what? Because AI is not going to tell you. If you said, okay, the dog gets out of the house, AI, give me 15 things a dog can do when it gets out of the house. That's a prompt.
Right.
But that's also what you would do in a writer's room.
Right.
Give me 15 ideas. So it's not changing. You just have a technology that's now butting in.
Yeah.
And you have to evolve your brain to get out of the fear factor, because if you're really afraid that it's going to take your job, you suck.
Yeah, true.
Because you're either not creative or you don't know how to adjust to what's the change is. And technology and audiences and everything we do in the creative world changes all the time.
Yeah.
I've survived because I'm adaptable. I'm like the cockroach. I'll be here forever.
This show's awesome. AI Cockroach Show. That's what it's called.
Okay. It's fine. We don't have a name, so let's go with that. That is the name, by the way. AI Cockroach.
AI Cockroach Show. So one of the things that I found and stumbled, a lot of the stuff you stumble upon, because literally, Joe, as you know, scroll through Instagram, whatever your Twitter, TikTok, whatever the feed is, and you'll see XYZ announces this new feature on AI. And it's like, holy cow, yesterday it didn't even do half of that. Literally, it's 2 days later, and this thing just blew up, and it's more amazing than ever before. Back to context and prompting and stuff, and writers' rooms. I stumbled across this a little example, and the example it was a writing example, write me a story about a war, WAR, battles, a war, warfare. But it wasn't just that. This guy said, write me a story about war as if you were Winston Churchill. So this AI went out and pulled all the information around the world from Winston Churchill, compiled it into whatever, and wrote a little story. I don't know how many words he had, call it 1,000 words. And it was a really cool story in Winston Churchill's voice, not physical voice, but voicing of writing. And then he said, now write me the same story and make it from Gandhi. And the AI went out and pulled all the information from Gandhi and then did, that version of it. So that's kind of where you're saying, if you suck at your job and you can't think of these creative things to do with it, to make what you are already do as a talent even more wonderful.
Right.
Let
me use your example. Let me use your example. And I don't want to get stuck in writing, because that's where everybody lands, that's where it's going to decimate the industry, because the entire industry, broadcast, television, radio, music, all starts with writing. So, and then if you kick that out, well, then there's nothing left. So anyway, going back to your example, if I said to that same thing, write me a story about Joe Scacciaferro Sr. in World War II, AI would be shit out of luck, because my father wasn't. There's no database that they can draw from. So AI can only draw from, which brings me back to the assistant, because the assistant said, I need to, in the olden days, 2 years ago, I need to write a story about Winston Churchill in war. And that was my task given to me by whatever, network, film studio, blah, blah, blah. I would have to go to my assistants and say, get me everything you can find on Winston Churchill. I need to write something in his voice. Mm-hmm. So now, months, years maybe, of collecting all this information and reading it, then digesting it, and then formulating that whole process, the cost factor, and here it always ends up, is follow the money. The cost factor would be outrageous.
Yeah.
But if you told AI to do it, and this is, I'm going to segue into something, so don't interrupt me after this. If you told AI to do that thing, it could do it because there's a database and it could pull it all together. And that's the intelligence. That's literally what it's been coded, written by a human to do. Well, written by humans today. Maybe tomorrow they won't be. But the point I was going after was, if you historically look at AI, and it's a cool buzzword name. It's digital technology that's been, it's logic. It's truly, from the ancients, it's logic. Mm-hmm. So if you took logic and you moved it forward, let's get digital. I don't want to go all the way back to the Greeks, but if you go to digital, where that started, which is when I started engineering, we used to have to design with actual hardware. So you would design with a gate, and you would have to write this whole thing out. If this happens, then this happens. Then that happens, then that happens. And if this happens, then this has to happen. So that was the logical flow. Mm-hmm. That became coding. So coding allowed for things moved much quicker, because it was now, you could sit and make changes almost instantly. You would run it, didn't work, run it, change it. Okay, so now I'm moving forward. I actually have a reason for doing all this. So somewhere in the 50s, Turing, I believe his name is, he conceptualized what AI should be. There should be this ability to do this. But there was no technology at the time, so he was screwed. H.G. Wells had some great tech, just didn't exist. So he was screwed. He was a scientist if he was today. So now you move to the 70s, and that technology started tweaking around. Chatbots. Remember chatbots?
Yeah, of course.
When they first popped up, even Microsoft with the stupid paperclip asking you questions. I know I've just lost probably 70% of our audience. Because now I'm talking like old men. This is two old guineas sitting in front of the pork store talking about the old days with our nylon socks on. So that was the chatbots. And it was AI, and it had some movement, but it never blew up into the 80s. Why? There was no database. There was no internet. When you hit the 90s and you hit smartphones and Siri hit, all of a sudden, there's an effing database that's global, that's growing by the second. More and more information got digitized. More and more information got poured in. Everybody started telling their life story on the internet. Well, you just opened up the door. So AI, that now had a thing. And I'm saying AI like it's an entity. It's not. It's a technology. And people started recognizing, oh, I can write with AI because it can go do my homework, because I need to write a story about this, and it's all about the Wright brothers. I don't know why I'm using every old analogy I can come up with.
Because it's alliteration. Right.
So that's probably true. So that became the thing. So it was really the internet that set up it's called generative AI, which is Gen AI for us cool people. So that it started learning off the internet. And you asked me when we started this, all of a sudden this came out of nowhere. It didn't. It's like every other technology. It evolved. But there's a quick history and understanding. No internet, no database, no AI. Because without it, AI can't do squat.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break and come right back and talk about why media and entertainment production was kind of like an easy adapter of AI. And we'll talk about that when we get back.
I'll be ready. Listen, here's your shot, which is what you need. It's available if you're interested. You can start right now, or you can wait years looking to get in, get skills, or miraculously get ahead. Sure, you can do the waiting thing too, but you absolutely can start and join us today.
back. What did we call this? The AI Cockroach Show? That's where it ended up?
Yes.
Because it never dies. It's all over the place. Regenerative. I want to talk to you about why this whole AI thing seems to be pretty much easily adopted by the media and entertainment production community. I'm going to guess, and then you can shut me down. I think it was because of the writer's strike.
That was a good guess. That's pretty solid. That was pretty solid, but that's a small aspect of it.
Yeah.
The writer's strike gave it, and I was just going to say, the music and entertainment media industry, we're on the forefront of exposure.
Right.
Everything we do, our product is out there.
Mm-hmm.
If I went into biotech and said, what do you guys do with AI? Oh, we've been doing this for 15 years because we search it's a database. So it's easy for us to go through millions of tests and find the one that has this and how does this tie to this, because that's where AI is gold. It knows how to do that. It's an incredible assistant. So, but our industry is out front. We're here. So when we start talking about AI and we start thinking about AI, that's when the money steps in again. Because now I'm going to get replaced. I can't say it started with writers, but the concern kicked off with writers.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me do an old school. Synthesizers, which you mentioned early on. In the music world, when I started back in the 1800s, when I first landed with the Protestants, was that the 1800s? Maybe it was before that. Whatever. So anyway, when I first started, synthesizers were really the tech of the world, and they were brand new. So new, nobody even knew what to do with it.
So new they couldn't even play two notes at a time.
So new they couldn't play two notes at a time. So new they weren't even digital.
Yeah.
So, and if you can, I don't know if anybody knows anything, but my whole background, my whole studio is analog. I love analog. But the problem is when people started, when the unions and the money, not disrespecting unions, I belong to several. When the unions started, they looked at the musicians union, and said, oh, wait a minute. You're going to replace the entire orchestra pit with one keyboard player? Yeah. That can't happen. And then everybody ran around screaming. Musicians wanted to go on strike. It was mayhem. Sounds like the writer's strike. Yeah. It's the same thing. No writers were out when the musicians were out because they weren't threatened.
Right.
Until they learned about the technology. And then as the technology as technologists, musicians adapted to the technology and started thinking of it as an instrument and a tool rather than a threat, they realized, oh my God, we can do so much more now. I can make a trumpet that has a slide on it. I can make a guitar play a full orchestra. They started realizing that everything, like a guitar, became a controller to control the synthesizer, which opened up guitar players into the ability to do symphonic synthesized music rather than just limit to their 6 strings and a bunch of foot pedals. So all of that is that natural evolution. And you asked why our industry, it was an early adapter. It's because we've been used to technology changing what we do.
Yeah.
And those of us who have survived have learned, don't be afraid. It's learn it. Learn it and find what it can do. And that'll get you more work because you'll be in the forefront. So theater, music, theater, not so much. Lighting and sound, but film, broadcast, recording industry, tours, all of that stuff became, I can do this now. You go to a Kiss concert or again, old references. If you
No,
go
but
to
listen, no,
YouTube,
wait. Kiss just retired like last year. We're
I
good.
know, but no,
We're good.
but nobody under 50 went to it. So if you go to a YouTube concert, no YouTube, no, it's not it. Anyway, Beyonce, she old too now.
Yeah,
So
you're getting there.
let's say Beyonce, she's closer. What goes on that stage with lighting and sound and lasers and all that other stuff could never be done without a heavy technology. And the programming of all of that and the execution of the programming, it starts getting into the area of AI. Because now designers can sit back and go, okay, I want to light this and light that, or a producer, let's go with a stage designer, is sitting there thinking, I want to have these lights. I want to be able to do that. You'd have to bring in a lighting company. And you'd have to sit down and, you'll spend days and hours designing a light show. And then the lighting company would have to bring a technologist in who'd have to figure out how to execute it. And these are big production meetings that take long periods of time.
Yeah.
Now AI will cut that down for you. When you ask AI, I'm interested in doing a lighting show using waterfall lasers. How do I do that? Who do I go talk to? Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's a Siri kind of mentality, but it's way more sophisticated because it can come back and tell you things. It can tell you how to do it, what you can expect, what technologies. And then, as you said earlier, it can also say, okay, this is what we decided we want to do. What's the budget? And it'll rack out a budget for you. Right. And it'll tell you budgets when you're in Europe, it's going to cost you this. When your tour is in Oklahoma, it's going to cost you this. And in LA, it's this. And it'll do all that. That's a lot of work taken off the plate.
Yeah.
Follow the money. And so there's all this other stuff that gets wrapped into it. Not just, and I should really talk about the production side of what this stuff does. But I'm gonna hold that to block 3. I'm not going to talk about that now. So I know you have a sheet here that I'm supposed to be following, but I'm not following anything.
The AI Cockroach Show needs no sheets. We need no sheets. Things change quickly, and we will take a break and come back and talk about some of that change. And welcome back to the AI Cockroach Show. I got to learn to say that quickly.
I love this name, by the way.
It's the best. It's the best. I want to talk about specifics in terms of categories like film or video, music, and what was the third one we were going to talk about? I don't even remember. It was
film, music, cameras. You can talk about, yeah.
What? Go. Talk to me about camera.
All right, camera. Okay, that's interesting because it's very relative to what's just happened. So as some of you and maybe none of you know, my son's a robotic camera operator, works at the highest level in the industry. That's Siri telling me that it's now going to broadcast everything I say to everybody. So he works as a robotic camera operator at the highest level, does all kinds of stuff. I'm very proud of him. He's tech, and that's what he learned, working with us from age 10. He learned you better be relative because you're going to be out of work. And he learned to do that, and he's on that cutting edge. So anyway, he did the Paris Olympics, and that's the time frame when this is being done, when we're recording it. He did the Paris Olympics, and he was assigned to tennis. So he was working the robotics on the robotic cameras on the tennis matches. Then he's back. He's in the U.S. Open right now, which has a huge complement of cameras and technology out there. One of my favorite techs that they use is something called a trace camera. I will not go into it technically because I will butcher it, and I have too much respect for the designers and for the technology. But basically what it does is one operator is operating 3 cameras or 4 cameras simultaneously.
Right.
One of their cameras is called a trace camera, and the trace camera locks onto and follows whatever it's following it on its own, autonomously. But if it gets confused, you have to go back. The operator, while he's doing everything, or she's doing everything, has to go back and reset it so it's locked on again, and then they could let it go and do its game. We'll have Frank on one day, and he can really explain this much better than I am. I just talked to him this morning, and I said, curiously, how does AI play into what you're doing? He started cracking up because this year at the U.S. Open, they demoed it at the Olympics, and they're using it, at the U.S. Open now.
Okay.
They have AI smart trace cameras. But with the AI, it's smart enough so by the time it has to repo, because the camera still loses where it's supposed to be,
Right.
but now the AI, the assistant,
Right.
is sitting there going, gotcha. And Frank said, it can repo that camera faster than I could even think about it.
Wow.
So AI is being implemented into something
Right.
that's just making it more efficient.
Right.
And in this case, it's helping the operator who has to man 3 cameras.
Right.
And now he doesn't really have to worry about that. And I guarantee you, within a year, nobody's even going to think about the trace camera because that's the AI camera.
Right.
And the AI, just set it up, let it go, and AI will figure it out.
Yeah.
So, and that's being used. Lucas has been using AI in their technology forever, but they go so far into it. It's amazing. Same thing with Cameron. Same thing with Spielberg. Anything that's big visual, and a lot of green screen and a lot of adaptive video, AI is all over that. And I'll explain that in a minute. So let me jump around a little bit because I do want to give you some specifics. Music. If you remember a while ago, not too long ago, the Beatles released something called How and Again. And John Lennon had already passed.
Right.
Harrison was still alive. And obviously Paul and Ringo were still alive. So they took a song that was written, Now and Again, and they recorded it. But the demo track that Lennon had done was so garbagey that they couldn't really use it because it was so out of sync. And they couldn't even figure out how to clean it up. So, I mean, and there's some mastered, skilled engineers who can clean anything up. This thing was so far gone, they couldn't touch it. They used AI that came in and actually pulled Lennon's voice out, cleaned it up, used it, and that's the last song that the 4 Beatles ever did together. And they were only able to do that because technology had arrived that allowed that to go in and be done. There was another one, Heart on My Sleeve, which that was when the sky's falling. And it was created by Ghostwriter, who I don't know who it really is, but he's a well-known, or she's a well-known producer in the industry. Simulated Drake and The Weeknd's voice and did the song using their simulated voice without their simulated release. So that became a major, oh shit, this can now happen. And it sounded like Drake, and it sounded like Weeknd. This is where it all starts getting really wonky.
Yeah.
Because it's a weapon in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Can start becoming very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now let me give you a quick go into film. or visual media, not just film, because you can do the same thing. You can simulate faces. You can simulate actions. You can't tell it's not, because it's not like if you get a forensic to go in and say, oh, yes, this film's been doctored. And that's usually done because something's layered on top of something.
Yeah.
This isn't. This is integrated into the original. So there's going to be an AI forensic that has to be able to go in and figure out that. Otherwise, we're in such deep shit.
Yeah.
Because you can fake anything now.
Yeah.
We're talking entertainment. Start thinking about news.
Yeah.
Start thinking about diplomatic relationships.
Yeah.
This gets pretty crazy.
Go ahead. I'm looking up. Oh, I'm not going to look it up. I'll just give you a guess on the name. So this is a great story, and it has to do with exactly what you're talking about. So I watched this documentary on Netflix, and it's about Lou Pearlman. Have you heard of Lou Pearlman?
No.
Lou Pearlman is...
I know Alan Pearlman, who was actually the founder of ARP Instruments.
Exactly. Alan R. Pearlman. No.
There it is.
This is Lou Pearlman, who happens to be Art Garfunkel's cousin. Okay. This is going to be a little wild, but it's perfect for the AI Cockroach Show because I'm going to bring it right home eventually. So the same guy who was cutting my hair since I was 4 years old is still alive. His name is Alex, and he lives, and his barbershop is a mile from my house. And we now go pick him up at his house to take him to the barbershop to cut our hair. And growing up, I always saw these posters signed by all these boy bands in his Italian barbershop. And it made no sense. Like, why do you have NSYNC signed on your wall? And then after NSYNC, it was the Backstreet Boys. I'm like, well, I don't even understand. Where are you getting this stuff? He says, you know Lou. I said, Lou, the big guy, Lou Pearlman. So Lou Pearlman was the boy band guy who started NSYNC.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. And he ended up being the biggest crook in the world. I mean, it's a great documentary.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, totally. He was into the blimps, because there's this open field I live by Shea Stadium, now Citi Field, growing up, and they had the Goodyear blimp, they had the Jordache blimp, and these were all Lou Pearlman blimps that he crashed and collected the insurance and started these boy bands with that money. Anyway, watch the documentary. It's really good and interesting. So in the documentary, Joe, here's the AI part of it. They've got Lou sitting behind the desk, kind of narrating the story of what he did. He says, sure, people trusted me. I was able to gain their trust because I showed them a little bit of success. Then I promised them even more. And then I happened to get lucky with a second band. And then I was off to the races. So there were these cuts between the actual story and the narration of the band guys, and then him at his desk. I'm like, it took me a while to figure out that he's not alive to tell the story right now, because he's talking about stuff he's not here to remember he did, or stuff that happened after he already passed. He died of cancer in jail 20 years ago, 10 years, 15 years ago. And at the end of the movie, in the movie credits, it said, generative AI provided by blah, 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 blah. And they did what you just said, Joe. They took his voice from recordings, because there's plenty of tape of him, and they had a shot of him he was doing some sort of a seminar way back scamming people days. And that was the actual source. Would that be called the source material that they used him sitting there?
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
The AI,
source,
AI Cockroach Show.
Right. The AI Cockroach Show. So then the AI guys did the words, they matched his voice, they matched the movements. And it was like Lou Pearlman really telling the story from the grave. Right. It was awesome. And I didn't catch on to it for a while. I'm listening to this like, oh yeah, this is great. Then I'm like, couldn't happen. Totally couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Totally couldn't
Get
happen.
used to it, because there's going to be more and more and more and more of it.
Yeah.
Especially once studios, record labels, any performance, any producer who actually, and producers in the world of financing shows and programming, they're always looking for a way to cut costs.
Yeah.
So if they can cut costs by not having to pay, or being able to get these people, and the game right now is trying to convince artists to license their likeness or license their voice, and they'll get a rip off of what it is without having to do anything. So that's going to start being an enticement to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they go back and they say, we want to use your recording, let's say music, we want to use your recording from, 2005, and we're going to take that and we're going to make this. It's not a remix. They're going to actually make a new song, and we're going to use your tracks, and you're going to get 15% royalty off of anything we do with that. Yeah. And you don't have to do anything. So this is going to start sounding attractive.
Yeah.
So let me jump to some of the more pedestrian people, and I call them, the knob tweakers and the nuts and bolts people, the people who actually do stuff, editors.
Did you say knob tweakers?
I did.
All right, go ahead.
See, those are knobs.
Yeah, I get it. I just loved hearing that.
Okay, those are actual knobs. They're knobs. Yeah. You turn them.
Yeah.
So like an editor, let's use them for a second. Editors who are going to start thinking AI can replace me. Producers, a video producer, multimedia producers, going to walk in with source material, plug it in to the machine, and then say, cut me a documentary about Lou Pearlman, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And they'll just, boom, it's done. And it's going to go out. It may happen in some cases, but you're not going to get a Ken Burns documentary. You're going to get a AI cockroach documentary, which will be good enough for, there's so many streams out right now. There's so much content needed, and they don't care what they're throwing out there, because all of us, everybody, in the business, out of the business, in anything, you go on all your streams, you're paying $300 a month for thousands of shows, and everybody says the same thing. How come I can't find anything decent to watch? Because most of it is not good. It would have never gotten sold, but they just need content. So AI is going to fill that gap.
Yeah.
So all the low-hanging fruit in production, in edits, in script writing, they're going to get replaced because they aren't good. And what that does make, and here comes the Ferro City pitch. Stand by.
Go.
That makes it even more critical that you come to a place or you start making network. And I don't mean network with the big N. I'm talking about networking, people networking. You need to start doing that with real people. You need to start collaborating with other people. You need to start learning new skills so that you can stay relevant, which is the reason we started Ferro City before. AI is just making it more apparent why it's necessary to be part of this next movement. And going back to film, and I'm a huge Lucas fan, loved him, thought everything he's ever touched was great. Everything. So Lucas sound was always fascinating to me. And as I said earlier, thousands of sound effects that were created either acoustically, sound engineers going out in the field, recording a wand hitting a light pole, and there's a million stories you could read about where the lasers actually came from, most of them are really cool. And then they became synth programmers who actually understood sound and could program really cool sound effects and da-da-da-da. Now they have this ginormous database, so they can now use AI to search for them and to find value in what they're doing. And the better, as you've said all along, prompts. The more sophisticated your prompts are, the more detailed your creative vision is, and you can articulate that, which is another part of one of the things I teach heavily to any consultants, any of the career consultant work is that you have to have a clear vision, but your vision has to be, you have to be able to articulate that vision. And that comes from, and AI is another person.
Right.
So you have to learn how to talk to AI as you would learn how to talk to an LD, a lighting director, or, a sound engineer, or a guitar player, or whoever. You need to be able to communicate that.
And with that, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, Joe, I wanted you to talk about cross-training a little bit and why that's important, especially in this day and age. We'll be right back.
We get you in.
This stuff makes sense and works.
Ferro TV gets you inside the industry with pros who are already in.
I just love my job. I love what I do.
Ferro TV isn't your usual boring industry panel lecture.
You're responsible as the operator for linking every function, every button.
Jump up on this garbage can to get height so you can see everything.
It's pros who love what they do and are at the top of their game.
You trust each other to get the job done.
I often say, just do the best with what you got.
What's life under the stage like?
Sucks.
They laugh and you'll laugh. They explain and you'll learn.
This statement will open a world of opportunities for you.
They curse and you may cover your ears.
Sorry, can I see that?
Get in with Ferro TV today.
Okay, back. Joe, I want to talk about, we got one short segment now. We went a little long in the others. Talk about cross-training, because you always do speak about cross-training, but I want you to talk about it in the context of AI and the current skill that somebody may have in media and entertainment, how to make that work.
Okay. And first off, we're talking about cross-training technology or cross-training skills, cross-training in the entertainment production. You've never seen me in a gym throwing tires around or whipping ropes, which I still to this day don't understand.
Yeah.
Other than dock workers, I don't know who needs to whip those ropes around. But so cross-training to me always was, and it's indicative, it's my career, so it's embedded in my DNA, is you need to be able to learn different things. You need to learn different skills. And I don't mean you have to learn them to the point that you become an expert, but you have to have a deep appreciation for them. And you have to understand them. That goes back to what we said in the last block, was you're going to communicate with people. You need to be able to understand what their limitations are and how they go about that. So you need to train for different aspects of the industry. And you'll notice, if you follow different people, when I first went into broadcast, I came out of the music industry. So I knew recording studios. I understood, front of house mixers. I understood a monitor mixer. I knew what audio mixing was. I understood all of that. When I went into television, I don't know why I didn't. I just thought it was a visual medium, and there's all camera people and lighting people, and that's all it was. And then all of a sudden, the first couple of times I was in a broadcast studio, I went, oh shit, there's an audio board over there. Well, of course there is. There's audio on broadcast.
Yeah.
And there's audio in film. There's audio everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's when I started going to the music guys and saying, hey, there's opportunities for you in broadcast. And then the same thing went for when we were talking to concert guys. I said, hey, there's opportunities for you in theater because it's the same technologies. So you can cross-train within a field and go to different sectors, but you should also cross-train into other facets of what you're doing. And
right.
AI is now critically important for you to understand that. Because if you want to interface with AI, you need to be able to give it really good prompts and instructions.
Yeah.
And that is only going to come if you know what you're talking about and you know how to look things up and you know how to hunt things down.
Awesome.
Okay,
bro.
I'm done.
Yeah, awesome show. Thank you for sharing. I would tell you what we're going to do next show, but stuff changes so quick, I don't even know. But it's going to be great. We can guarantee you that here on the AI Cockroach Show.
That's it. That's our thing now. Okay, I got it. All right, see you, Lou.
See you, buddy.